Hello, nice to see you again. I hope you've had a, let me see, it's Thursday today, right? Yeah, I hope you've had a good week. And that you're prepared for the last few days of the week. It's funny, I remember when I was a monk, the days just made very little difference. There wasn't really a big difference between what day it was or what time of the year it was. Kind of, I remember I missed Christmas a few times, and I missed my birthday sometimes. Once I missed my birthday. But the thing with like it being something different, I think, is just because we go to work. So then you're working towards something, and then at the end of the week will be that time when it's kind of, okay, now I worked the whole week, now I get time off for the weekend. So there's like a shift towards that. Hey, Emily, nice to see you. I'm pretty good. And you? I have some big things that I need to do. We need to do some renovations on the house that'll take up my time this weekend. So I'm taking time off from work to finish that. And hopefully it'll go okay. But it should be fine. How's your meditation been since we spoke last time? Had a good week, nice. Did you try any of the... Can't remember what we were discussing. It was something about your meditation. Oh yeah, you were thinking about meditating without guidance. Hey Stephen, nice to see you. The metrics are so messed up from what I see. I can't see my own image. Right now it shows that no one's watching. Yeah, no one is watching right now. So it's very strange. But you can see me, right? I'm assuming that you can see me. Even though, like I said, something's wrong with the whole, how everything works. How does this time work for you, by the way, Stephen? I know it's half an hour earlier, and I hope that's okay. I took your advice, and it's harder, but I feel more at ease afterwards. What was it I can't remember specifically what it was that we changed. Sounds so good. Happy to hear that. Because it just works. It's so much easier for me. I've really been... I haven't been producing videos, but a lot of stuff has been happening behind the scenes here, and a big part of it is just my... Hey JVB, nice to see you here as well. Glad people are able to join on the new time. Yeah, a big part of the reason why I'm having problems releasing videos as I want to is just my sleep. I've spoken about this before, the pain I have in my neck, like everything. It's just difficult to sleep with that, but I've been, this last month, I've really been focusing on my sleep, and one of the things that was making it difficult for me to sleep was going to bed late after these sittings. Even though it's nice to sit, it's still, I have like bright lights in my face, and I talk and I get engaged, and I think it's really fun, so I get engaged with the topics, and then it takes a little bit of time to kind of slow down after that, which makes it, sometimes a little bit difficult to go to bed, or it just takes delayed. And I can see, like I said, I have the Oura ring, so I can see my statistics. I see that I sleep worse after that. Amelie's saying, I tried more unguided meditations and they feel good, still harder, but I feel better afterwards. Okay, yeah. I mean, there really is, for Stephen and JVB who weren't here last time, I don't think you were at least, we were talking with Amelie about guided versus unguided meditations, and she was saying that it was difficult to do unguided. And we just discussed some of the topics of how meditation actually works and what to do when you're by yourself, not having someone guide you. But ultimately, there's not really... If you find it comfortable to meditate to a guided meditation, that's fine. The only thing I have against it is that many of the guided meditations are very visual. They work in getting you to feel something, meaning they try to... Imagine you walking down a path and you're seeing like the sky opens up in front of you and there's a lake and there's stillness in the lake, and you drop a pebble and that's your thought. It's like all this creating images in your mind, which are nice to calm you down, but that's not quite what we're trying to do here. We're not trying to tell you a story to get you to calm down. We're trying to make you aware of what's going on so that you can then focus on the distortions that you have to let go of them and or to embrace them, kind of, and also to realize that there's nothing there. I was discussing with my fiance. We were talking about it. There was I can't remember what it was, but it was something that was coming up, and I can see how it comes up, and you kind of, I need to look at this and let go of it, and then it's like it's not even there anymore, and okay, I need to bring it up and really feel it so that I know, because when you look at it, it just disappears. There's nothing there. And that's the whole thing with shadow work and all that stuff. We focus so much on the negative stuff, and we give so little attention to the positive, like to the good feelings. We spend way more time focusing on bad feelings and how things feel bad. And when we do these guided meditations, what they do is they just temporarily let you feel good by kind of creating an image that can make you feel good. But if you really want to enjoy life and really want to enjoy being here, you need to kind of sink into that feeling of being alive and not get so caught up in the idea that you need to overcome all these difficulties and that it's so tough and life is so bad. And like, instead, just like, no, actually experiencing life with our senses is really nice. There's a lot of nice things to experience around us. Not even experience around us like that, but actually just experiencing life. So instead of focusing on all the negative stuff, and it's really a meditation part, I mean, especially shadow work and stuff like that, it really focuses on, okay, look at the bad things, feel them, and kind of let go of them. And I asked my fiance, because she's really been into the spiritual part, like realms, really bad, kind of, to the point where it ruins many people's lives, and she felt that it ruined her life. It made her enjoy life less doing it. And I was asking her, why are we so focused on the negative parts? Why is it so addictive to go into these deep journeys where you go in and you kind of, what do you call it, journal, and you bring up all these bad things and you do shadow work? And she says, well, the thing is there's a high that comes after that. When you go through something difficult and you go into it and you really go through that and you come out on the other end, there's this high feeling to it, which is like addictive, and it just makes you feel like, whoa, this is so, and you release it, and then you get into it again. So there is a nice feeling that comes overcome, and absolutely, it's useful to look at difficult things and kind of let go of them. But that's not the main thing we need to do, because there's always going to be bad stuff. I just got some bad news just before I sat down, and I can see my mind kind of wanting to go in there. Bad news, difficult conversations, and my mind went in there and started looking at this and kind of like, I don't want to deal with this, like I don't, and then it started pushing against that, and kind of like, well, it just is what it is, kind of, I don't need to do anything about it, it just is what it is, and now I'm here, I'm talking. So instead of going in and kind of trying to feel all of that, just focus on, what is it like being here now? Like, it's enjoyable being here. I have a nice cup of tea, I have 3 friends here, and we're having a discussion, and that's really nice. So rather than being so focused on the negative stuff, it is really much more useful to be focused on not the positive stuff, but the experience of life. Just what does it feel like to experience life? Emily, I go on walks in the woods a lot, and I try to be present about where I am and just feel peace. Absolutely, that's a perfect exercise. Just walking and feeling like the wind in your face and feeling the clothes. When you walk, you can kind of feel how they brush against your arms, or like your pants, or if you have a dress on, you can feel that. You can feel your shoes, and especially if I walk with barefoot shoes, and you can really feel how there's like grip on the ground underneath you. It's very nice to feel. So having that as your focus rather than all the difficult things and like going into that, it's just more useful. And because if you think about it, what you focus mostly on, that kind of becomes more to your forefront, what you see the most. I see JVB was writing also, I enjoy meditating on my own because I get to clearly hear or even see the good and self-limiting perspectives I've developed over time. Sometimes other people's guidance is distracting. Absolutely. I feel the same way. I like hearing other people's voices. Like I meditated through what's his name, Jim Dale, I think, who read the Harry Potter books, and I listened to them while I was meditating, and that was really nice. I mean, obviously they had nothing to do with my meditation, but just hearing a soothing voice that kind of ties up my mind in listening to that the mind hears that voice, so it kind of ties it from wandering off. And it can be very nice to just listen to an audiobook and meditate and not get too engaged with the story, but have that running in the background. So it's, I understand where you're coming from. Let's see what else. Might just take some time, Stephen is saying. I do that with music and meditation. Sure, absolutely. Whatever just something that ties you up. The main thing to look at is that what we're trying to do is not to get, how should I put this? Because this is, try to focus on the feelings of being alive rather than the story. So what we tend to do when we listen to music is that we listen to powerful music or music that gives us a feeling like, ooh, I can feel this, and gives us shivers, kind of, that makes you feel really alive. That's distortions. It's just that they're nice distortions, so we kind of like feeling them, but they are distortions. Don't push them away or don't express them. They're just there, kind of. What you really want to do is just feel how nice it is to feel. Just sitting here feeling this is enjoyable. It is nice. It is nice to feel warmth on my skin, to feel light on my face. It's enjoyable to be alive. Having that as your focus. And when we're in nature, that becomes more prevalent because there's not so much of a story when you're in nature. You can go out and think, oh, I wish I had a cottage here, and I'd clear out some land there, and I'd build a cottage from the wood in the forest. I could get water from over there, and I could live, and it would be that's a story. But if you're just out walking in the forest and you're just feeling the smells, the scents, the coolness, the breeze, all the sounds around you, that's really experiencing being alive. That's being in the present moment. Many people say being in the present moment would be, I'm having a conversation, I'm really here for you now. That's not being present right now. That's me being focused on the story I'm living right now. It's not the long story of my whole life, it's that story right now. So sure, it's a bit closer to now, but it's still a story that I'm focusing on. I'm not focusing on just what does it feel like. When I'm talking now, I focus on the vibrations in my chest. They're quite enjoyable to feel when I talk, and I focus on, there's a little bit of cold here, so I have goosebumps on my skin, and I'm curious what you're saying. I'm just listening and seeing. Ideas are also kind of, I say kind of a lot today, ideas are also impressions of life, but when you get into the whole story about them, that's when you start creating more self, because then all of a sudden I need to solve those problems. I need to show something, I need to come up with something, instead of just people say something and you respond without thinking, without analyzing, without trying to be perfect, just whatever comes out, being you. JVB, no, I said I prefer meditating on my own. Okay, yeah, no problem. Let's see. Stephen, is pleasant distortions okay to keep, or is it still something to resolve? And this is really important, Stephen. Don't try to take away anything, pleasant or unpleasant, and especially pleasant distortions. Don't take them away. Just look at them, and eventually you will see, hey, you know what? It's even more enjoyable to just be here without them. But if you would start trying to get them away, that would be kind of, it's just dumb. Like, don't do that. They're nice. Eventually, though, you will feel that, yes, even they distort this field of just being here, because it's that feeling of pleasant distortions. Should I say? Listening to a music that I had the pleasant distortion for me. A really deeply rooted one for me is Star Wars. The one where Luke goes up. I don't know if you've seen Star Wars, but he goes up and there's the twin suns and he's standing there and it's like and there's this like, whoa, hero feelings, and I would get shivers and this is a nice distortion. This is a nice feeling. Now, very little happens when I hear that. I can hear the beautiful strings playing, and I can hear the melody, but it doesn't create that distortion in me anymore. There was a little bit when I sang that, because it's such a childhood memory for me. So don't try to take them away. Don't think that it's bad or good or anything. It's just distortions. And the way to do this is to really feel things. We're not trying to avoid anything. Feel them. And it's similar to, what should we say? Similar to, say that your whole life you've just been going around doing this on your arm. Someone taught you to do this. Yeah, you're supposed to do this to your arm. Everyone did it in my family. Yeah. And sometimes you can do it here a little bit, but you have to do this the whole time. And then you stop and you go, oh, that's strange. I'm not, oh, that's interesting. Now I can all of a sudden feel the sensations on my arm. Everything feels different. That's very nice. And then you stop doing it, but you have to observe it and be aware of it and be open to the idea that, hey, maybe this isn't the meaning of life, because many people think the meaning of life is to have all these powerful, strong emotions and go, poof. I used to, when I fell in love, I would go, bam, so much in love. No one's ever been this much in love. And I would really feel love for a few months, and then I burned out because you can't keep that up. And the way that I feel now, love now, which is so much softer and so much more enjoyable in ways that I didn't even understand that before. You just have to get there yourself by experiencing it. Charisma or aura is pleasant distortion. Okay. What do you mean with that, Stephen? Or in what context? Is that in regards to your last question or something else? Charisma is the ability to sound like someone listens to you and like, oh, he has good charisma. Or the distortions you mentioned. No, charisma is, for me, that is the hero's journey. That's the feeling, the feeling of someone standing there alone against the universe and is going to go on this big journey. Charisma would be someone has charisma, meaning they talk in such a way that they have charisma or they have an aura around them. I at least, maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but I would say that that's something else. No matter what it's called, the main thing is to see that it's not bad. None of this is bad. It is what it is. You just observe it, and when you observe it and you see, oh, wait a minute, it's actually nicer to just enjoy. I don't need to ruin this moment by... And you start with the bad things, the things that gives you anxiety, that make you feel bad first. Then you move on to the other stuff. But first, it really is good to focus on the nice feeling things, because they're more... Yeah, they're where it all, like, sorry, they're the whole point of it. Being, if you would do like Emily does, and you're out walking in nature and you're really feeling that feeling of feeling nature around you, that's a nice thing. Do you think yoga can be like a meditation? Yeah, sure. My fiance is a yoga teacher, and I think yoga, the thing that's nice about it is that it gives you movement to focus on. Here we sit and we focus on the breath or sound or something else. But in yoga, you focus on movement, of touch, like sensations. It's a different way of focusing. And it has the added benefit that when you do these exercises, you stretch. And so you open up all these chakras and things. And I, since I have had energy movements constantly for the last, oh my goodness, is it 15 years now? I forget, but like 2010 or something, when my really weird Kundalini thing started. I can feel that when I do those things, it just opens it up and I get more free. I have less tension, less hindrance to just be here. So yoga is definitely a good thing. I think there's, in Sri Lanka at least, there was a big, this whole idea that not an animosity between yoga and meditation and Buddhism, but there was this idea yoga comes from India and is more of a Hindu thing, whereas meditation is more a Buddhist thing, and they separated. So sometimes they didn't really want to match them, but I think they match perfectly. I think it's really good to do both. JVB, question, is it prudent to expect a positive outcome after going through a difficult moment? Or would it be best to have no expectations about the outcome of the difficult moment? So, this depends on the angle. If we're talking from the angle we're talking about here, there is no outcome. There are no difficult moments. That doesn't exist. That's a story in your mind. And I really mean this. You need to see that what I'm talking about is just experiencing now. Nothing outside of now. Then all stories, all ideas that anything can happen to you disappears because there's no feeling of I. What you're saying is it okay to expect a positive outcome? So you work through something difficult and then afterwards you want it to feel good. Meaning you do all this difficult stuff because you believe that if I do that, then at the end I'll get rewarded somehow. That's kind of setting yourself up for failure, and is not what we're talking about here. A lot of people do that. It's just that they're always going to be disappointed. So a difficult thing, what would that be? I have a situation like that where I've really, really tried to help some people who want help. And I've done my darndest best that I can, but it doesn't matter because no matter what I do, they just want more financially and help-wise. And I've realized that situation can never work out because I can never give them enough. They will always want more. So that was a difficult situation that just will never have a positive outcome. And it's very clear. I've needed to learn that will never lead to anything. I have to accept that, and that's okay. If I would go into that with the idea that I need to have this come up, I would just be disappointed. Now instead, I don't do it because I need to have an outcome, and I also don't need to do anything because of guilt or shame, or it's not shame, but guilt or being guilt-tripped into someone telling you, you need to do this, JVB, unless you do this, and no, you've always done this before, why aren't you doing this now? When you stop doing the things people have been expecting of you, then people will react towards that. So the idea that you would expect a positive outcome going through a difficult moment, from the perspective of just experiencing being here, just focusing on how it's nice to be here, then that statement makes no sense whatsoever. None. That statement only makes sense from the perspective of having a self that is doing something difficult. And when I go through something difficult, I want a reward. I want a reward at the end of doing this difficult thing, whatever that may be. And I think doing that, first of all, let's say you're helping someone. That means you're not helping them just because you want to help them. You help them because you want to get something back. It's the same as if you come to someone who's sad and you try to help them, you try to make them happy, but you need them to be happy. If they don't become happy, you won't be satisfied. So they can feel you wanting this. So it's the same here. If you need to have something happen from what you do, then they're going to feel that. The best way to approach everything is you just do it because you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But there's also cause and effect. There's consequences. Don't want to pay your taxes? You don't have to pay your taxes. But if you don't, then the government will come and take the money from you eventually because you have to pay your taxes. And you might end up in jail. There will be cause and effect. But it's up to you what you're going to do, because there are people who don't pay their taxes and they have problems. So most people realize, hey, you know what? It's better just to pay the taxes because, and if you think about it, I have nothing against taxes because taxes supports the society I live in, and I live in Sweden. I feel that we really get value for our taxes. Sure, there's money being wasted, but Sweden is an incredible country to live in because of the social welfare that we have, thanks to the taxes we pay. So I'm not sure where I came to, where I got to from that. Doing something difficult, expecting an outcome. Yeah, yes, that was my point. The main idea is just do the things you do because you enjoy doing them. And if you don't enjoy doing them, see what's enjoyable about them. Meaning that if you find that, I don't enjoy going over to my grandmother and cleaning her house. I don't enjoy doing that. If you would say that, I would love to have my grandmother alive so I could do that. But just being there, cleaning, is enjoyable if you can just learn to see that in the moment. But very likely you have this story running, I could be with my friends, I could do something else, I wanted to clean my own house, I have all these other things. And so it's not enjoyable because of the story you're saying. That doesn't mean go and clean it for everyone who asks you to. It just means that when you've decided, I'm going to do this, Skip all of the ideas that you need to have something from it. Skip all of the ideas that it makes you into a good or bad person. Skip all of the ideas that this is important or has to happen a certain way. You've decided you're going to do this. Do it. Don't fight it. Don't go against it. Just do whatever you choose to do. And then finish it and do the next thing you need to do. Then these ideas that you talk about, positive outcome, if you should expect them or not, they just don't make any sense. Does that make sense? From how you spoke about it? Stephen, is it possible to be more joyful without any pleasure, feeling, or emotions? Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Joyful, I'm thinking about, the problem is that we're so used to feeling joy from something, and we're not talking about joy from something, we're talking joy by being alive. It's not because of this I'm feeling joy, because I'm able to see the present moment, I feel joy. It was more, I think we had that in the conversation we had last Sunday when we had the group coaching call. It's not that you make yourself feel good and that like you do that instead of making yourself feel bad. That's what's always there. There's always a feeling of it's nice to be alive, but then you have this damn story running the whole time that makes it difficult to just enjoy being alive, because the story says, oh, you're not successful enough, you're not good looking enough, you don't have enough friends, people mistreat you, things should be different, I should be better at meditating, I should have higher salary, I should have better house, better partner. All those things make it so you miss what's there the whole time. And it's not really that you miss it because you're not looking, it's because these distortions from all these things you think you need to have a certain way, they ruin this moment. And if you've been around small children, they have an easier time doing that because they haven't had all of these things yet. Then gradually they grow older and they have more and more things that need to happen a certain way for them to be happy. And then you have them being angry about everything, because then they realize, oh, I like watching television and I don't get to watch television. Now I'm going to be angry. TV, yes, I understand your point. I'll meditate on it. Good point. Good idea. Nice. Nice to have these discussions before. I enjoyed it. And thank you also for being able to join at this earlier time. It really helps me out and it makes it easier for me to keep doing this. I have thought about having a physical class here as well, and if I do that, that will be next year. Then one of the evenings will disappear. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but right now I'm focused on this, and I'm also focused on changing a little bit how the channel works, like what I want to focus on. And it will be more what we spoke about last time. I think maybe a little bit this time also, how spirituality unfortunately ruins many people's lives. It makes them be less engaged with reality and more engaged with dreams and fantasies rather than facing this life that we have here. People get so caught up in the idea that before I need to be more successful, look better, richer, all of those things. Now all of a sudden it's, well, this world isn't enough. I need to be a light weaver. I need to communicate with other dimensions. I need to change the world, and everyone needs to become a vegan. Then I'll be happy. So it's just doing the same of what you did before, and I really want to help people not get stuck in that, because I've seen so many people do it and it really doesn't lead anywhere. But you have to go through it, unfortunately. I think everyone has to experience it and see that doing this is just more of what I did before, because just listening to me and believing me doesn't really help. There's always going to be that part of you think, oh yeah, but if I could just become enlightened, if I could just learn to see auras, if I could just learn to see my past lifetimes, and you have all these ideas what you think needs to happen. I love that, staying in reality. Yeah, unfortunately it is very far away how spirituality is being portrayed or practiced, and it's sad. I've seen it ruin lives and people around people. So when I think about what I really care about, that's what I care about. I enjoy talking about meditation. I enjoy talking about what it really all comes down to, which is being happy to be alive. Like, not believing you need to change your life to see the other dimensions or do something different from this world here, but actually this here, right now, this is nice. And when you can see that, when you have a few glimpses of that, then you have that as a kind of a guiding light, something to move towards. It's like, oh, you know what? I know that I can feel good just by being. I don't need to have these highs of winning, being successful, of having other people like me. Or I've been on stage a lot. I've been singing and dancing, and I've done lots of talks and stuff. And the feeling of being on stage and people applauding and like, oh, you're so good, wow. That's a rush. But this here is much nicer when you learn how to see that. So yeah, it will be more of that, and I'll try to be a bit more practical. We'll try, as I said, on Thursday we're going to have more breath work, where we intentionally change our breath. I have the guided meditation we listened, not a guided meditation, but the sound that we listened to last time, which guided your breath. And this is, please sing for us for a little. Sing for you. What do you want to hear? I used to sing. I was in musicals. I played. I went to the Swedish Ballet Academy for Musical Arts. They had a musical preparation program. I was in a French musical. No, actually, it was an English musical. And then I've been in. I played Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar. There actually is a video of me on YouTube. So I used to sing a lot before, but then when I became a monk, we weren't allowed to sing, so I actually had to stop singing because it wasn't allowed. One day I'll sing. Do you play an instrument? I used to play the guitar, and then when I started the Ballet Academy, I wanted to play the piano because it's much easier when you're taking out scales for a song. But then I ended up not really knowing how to play the guitar well and never learned the piano well either. Music is fun, absolutely. Music is one of those things that it has a lot of... There's different things that can make you feel things, but there's also the vibrations and the tunes, and hearing melodies can be very enjoyable just to listen to them without the distortions. So there's much depth to it. I like the piano more too. Yeah, I love the piano. I really, if I had more time, if I was in Groundhog Day, I would definitely learn to play the piano, amongst other things, but the piano would be fun. Okay. So, Thursdays are going to be more with some kind of guided meditation, and today we'll do the coherence breathing, it's called. So it's a technique where you focus on making your breath work together with your sympathetic nervous system, and it's the difference between the pulse when you breathe in and the pulse when you breathe out. That's something that you can change, and that has an indication of how well balanced your system is, your body is, and you can actually enhance this by meditations like this. So on Thursdays we won't do the stuff we do on Mondays, which is when I guide it. Instead we'll have some kind of technique. I'm also thinking about trying the Wim Hof breathing. That is a bit more powerful, and it can be difficult for some people because it can make you feel dizzy and it might be a bit uncomfortable. So I'll see about that, but we might try that. There's box breathing, which is amazing for dealing with anxiety. I think that's probably one of the best ones for anxiety. If you wake up at night and you have lots of thoughts running, then that's a really good technique to do at night. I think that will probably be the one we do after this next month. And the idea would be that we do 1 month, we do this technique, I talk a bit about it, and then next month we move on to something else. So we get to try a little bit different things. I enjoy these techniques. I just never really do them that much because I don't need them. But they are helpful, and I used to do, before I meditated, I used to do certain things also, which I'll get into another time. So what we'll do, I'm going to prepare. Let me just see. Here you go. Oops. Oh, there you go. I will turn on the meditation, and we'll sit for 20 minutes. And then in the beginning, I'll have the video playing, which plays it's a instrument, a chime. And I will say it the first few times, breathe in and breathe out, and you just follow that along. And then after, I think it's just 5 minutes, and then after that, you just keep on meditating as normal. And you will many times feel that when you've been controlling your breath and you let go of the control, it feels very different to meditate after. So let's sit together and enjoy. Breathing in, breathing out. In, out. In, out. In, out. Thank you. As always, that was a nice sitting. Very happy we can finish on time and that we can do it this early. It makes it much more sustainable for me. I hope you had a nice meditation, and let's see, 25th. I think next week we will start on the next meditation technique. Let me see what date it will be. Yeah, so next week we'll do another technique. I'll think about it, but yeah, we'll see which one we do. I hope you have a pleasant end to the week, and as always, it's nice to have you here, and I'll see you again on Monday. Thank you.